We're in Microsoft Word 2016, and I'm going to show you how to insert and manipulate a picture in Word. So let's go ahead and click on the Insert button at the top in the ribbon, and then click on Pictures. And I've got one picture in here of a table and chairs in my house when I first moved in. So if we want, we can leave that picture just where it is and be happy with it, or we can click, and you see this how the cursor turns into a 4-point cross here. When it does that, it allows you to move to a different location. Now, of course, we've got nowhere to move it to at this point, so there's no text below or above. But if you did have that, you could move it back and forth or up or down. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's click to the right, and we'll click some text here. There we go. And then let's go ahead and move it. That's it. Now it's on the bottom of all the text. So that's how you move that. Now you can also go in the upper corners or lower corners or even the sides, and you can resize it. So if I go to one of these corners here and shrink it down, there's that. Let's go ahead and get rid of this text here from earlier. And so now I made the picture a lot smaller. Of course, you can also make it a lot bigger as well. Another cool feature you can do is you can also rotate it. So if I don't want to have it the way it is, I want to be a little funky, I can do that. I can completely turn it all the way around if I want to, which is really helpful if you have a vertical picture that you really need to be horizontal, or vice versa. All right, so now we're back to the way we were. All right, so there's also this little menu option that goes off to the right, and you can choose different options. Now, again, we don't have a lot of text here anymore, so it doesn't show you all these same options that you would, but you can tell it to move with the text, which is what we have it set to by default. You can fix the position on the page, so no matter what, it's going to stay right there, and it's not going to move. So you can also click the See More button, and you can change the alignment to be left, right, whatever, centered, that kind of thing. And you can see it moved off to the right, which was nice. And let's go ahead and see some more options. We can go with the position. You can change it by inches, or you can align it to the top, or you can align it to the center. So now we're in the center of the page, but it's off to the right. So lots of different options here with this little drop-down menu, and when you start adding text, which makes it kind of nice. And you can also allow overlap as well. And if you want, you can put text wrapping to wrap in front of so the picture has text over it if you want. You can send the picture to the background, to the foreground, however it is you would like to do it. So that is how to insert a picture and manipulate the picture a little bit and do some different changes to it in Microsoft Word 2016.
Okay, we're running down the list here. We're in Module 5, and we're talking about adding graphics to your presentation to create a visual interest. So we've already talked about shapes. That was Section 1 of this module. We've talked about graphics. That was Section 2 of this module. And now we're in Section 3, and we're going to talk about putting in pictures or photograph type things. So pretty easy to do. So let me show you how this works. So we're back in our presentation here, and we're on slide 2 where we have previously put in this animated GIF. I want to take him out now. I'm just going to delete that. Let's say that instead we've decided we want to use an actual picture here over on the right. Now, when we first put in this slide, we actually had gone to New Slide, and we chose the layout, Title, and Content. I want to change this layout. So I'm going to go up here to Layout, and I'm going to choose to Content. Now this way it allows me to put something on the left or something on the right. Just wherever I click, I'm going to get that placeholder that pops up. Now what you're going to notice here is that you have a button right here that says Pictures. This would be the online pictures. So let's say that I've got a picture already saved on my computer. I'm just going to click on that, and then I navigate to wherever that file is located. Now, let's say that in this case, I want to put in this one called Graduate. So I'm going to either double click or choose it once and insert it, and now you'll see it's inserted in my slide. Notice it took on the exact size of my object there. So if I want it bigger or smaller, I can certainly move it if I want and change the size of it, whatever I want to do with it. Now that picture is actually sitting on top of the slide. What do you do if you want to put a picture in and you don't have a little button that tells you to click here to put the picture in? Well, you can still do that. So let's do this. I'm going to go over to slide 4 and click on it. And I want to add a new slide, and I want to add a blank slide. We'll pretend that later on this will be the last slide in our presentation. Now, all I want to do on this slide is just put a picture of our college campus, let's say. And that's really all I'm going to want here. Now, if I do it the same way, I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, and let's say this time I choose this one, Campus Life, let's say. Now, you'll notice the picture is a little bit bigger this time, and it sits on top of my slide like we just mentioned. So if I wanted it to be the exact same size of the slide, so I don't see this blue back here, what I would end up doing is I would be grabbing the picture, and I'd be actually adjusting it using these control handles we've talked about several times now, and I can eventually make it look decent. But let me tell you the problem you're going to have with this. If you've got multiple slides in your presentation and multiple slides have pictures on them like this, the size of your file is going to get really large because this picture is not part of the slide, it's sitting on top of it. And if you have a lot of slides in here like this, it could even slow down how fast your presentation runs when you're running the slideshow. So here's another option. I'm going to go ahead and just delete this picture. I can actually make the picture the actual background of this slide. And here's how you do this. I'm going to go up to the Design tab, and I'm going all the way to the right where it says Format Background. Now here, the background of the slide itself can be a solid fill. And just to tell you what your choices are real quick with this, I can choose a different color if I want, or I can choose a transparency, meaning it's a little lighter, a little darker, a little easier to see through kind of thing. I might want a gradient. And if you have a gradient chosen, you can choose some of the presets they've got. And gradients are just a mixture of different colors. And you can change gradient stops and things like that, which we'll discuss a little bit later. But right now I'm trying to put in a picture. Now the colors or the texture fill that you see here, these are part of the particular design that we chose when we put our presentation together to begin with. So I want to insert picture from File. Now I'm going to choose the same picture and insert it, but this time notice it's the background of the entire slide. It's not a picture on top of the slide. So therefore your file doesn't get that much larger. Now remember, if you wanted to take this little thing off, just choose Hide Background Graphics and it's gone. Now let me just show you one other way you might use pictures. I'm going to go to slide 1. This is our title slide, and again, it's kind of boring. It's just got the title and the subtitle. But what if we put a picture of our campus right at the top here? So I'm going to go ahead and take this thing off. I'll hide the background graphics. And this time when I insert the picture, I'm going to do it this way because I don't want it to fill up the background of the slide. I just want to put this on the slide. But I'm going to go to Pictures, and I'm going to choose our school this time and insert it. Now what I can do if I want is I can go ahead and move some of these placeholders around where we had our title and our subtitle already. And I can also make the picture a little bit smaller. I can crop it out. There's just a bunch of different things I can do just to work with this picture. So let's just leave it there for now. I'm going to show you in a little bit how to make these words lay on top of the grass here and things like that. But at least I got the picture in and we can work with it that way. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how to put these pictures in. So let's go ahead and do a little exercise for Module 5 just to make sure you know how to add these different things in. And then that'll wrap up Module 5. So I'll see you over in the exercise.
Hi, I'm Molly. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see similar videos, click the subscribe button on the right. I'll see you next week with additional videos.
Hello and welcome to this HowTech video tutorial. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to create a drop-down list. So I'm just going to get started with creating a new sheet here, just to get some of this stuff out of the way. And we'll type in Q1, and I can go ahead and drag all that down because all of this is what I want to be in my drop-down list. So then we just select it all, right-click it, and we can define a name for that. I'll just go ahead and call it quartered. Hit OK. And another thing to note is in define name you can change the scope to just one of the worksheets or the whole workbook, which is what we have. And we right click down here, or rather we go to the data tab, hit data validation, and we can allow a list only here. And we want the source to be equal to quarter. Hit OK. And there it all is. We can just simply pick one there, drag it all down, and we can pick one for each of these, which is very convenient, especially if you have other things or if you wanted maybe some sort of survey or had a quiz which had set answers that a student could choose. This has been a HowTech video tutorial. Please like, subscribe, comment, and thank you for watching.
Creating a form can save you a lot of time in the long run because it makes it easier to input the data into one or more tables. And in this video, we're just going to go over the basics of creating a form from a table, adding additional fields, and inserting a drop-down menu into the form. In the navigation pane, you'll need to select the table that you want to use, and you don't need to open it, just make sure that the name is highlighted. I'm using the Customers table. Then, in the Create tab, you can click the Form command, and it will create a new form that contains all of the fields from your table. And before you do anything else, you should save this form. I'll call it Customers Form. Sometimes your form will include a subform. Access will create one of these if your table is linked to another table. For example, here our Customers table is linked to the Orders table, so this subform will include a list of any orders that the customer has placed. In many cases this may be useful, but if you don't need the subform, you can delete it by just clicking on it and pressing the Delete key. Now, if we later decided to add a field to the Customers table, it would not appear automatically in this form, so we would need to add it manually. To do this, you can select Add Existing Fields from the Design tab, and this will open up the field list, which shows all of the fields from this table. You can just double-click a field to add it to the form, or if you want to add a field from a different table, click Show All Tables, and then locate the table and field that you want. But for now, we have all of the fields that we need, so I'm just going to close this pane. With some fields, you may want to add a drop-down menu, which Access calls a combo box. This can make the form easier to use because the user can just click on the value that they want. I'm going to create a combo box for the Add to Mailing List field. In the Design tab, find the Controls group and select the Combo Box command. Then you can just click on the form where you want it to go. The Combo Box wizard will open up, and if you have a long list of values, then you can click the first option to pull the values from a table or a query. But I'm going to select the second option so that I can type the exact values that I want. Here you can type in each value, and in most cases you'll just use the first column. I'm typing 3 different values, and I'm pressing the Tab key after each one to go to the next row. And if you need to, you can adjust the width of the column, and then click Next. Now this next step is very important. When the user chooses a value from the combo box, we want the value to be stored in the customer's table. We'll need to select the second option and pick the field that we want. In this case, our combo box is going to be asking about the mailing list, so I'll choose the Add to Mailing List field. And then in the last step, you can type a label. I'm going to call it Add to Mailing List. and click Finish. The combo box will appear here, and we don't need the original field anymore, so we can delete it. To test the combo box, we can switch to Form View, and you can see that our three options appear here. So now we have a working form, and in the next couple of videos we're going to make some more adjustments to it to make it better suit our needs.